Welcome to your Stick Niner Empire podcast. The 49ers won this week by the score of 38-10. Lots of positives to talk about in this game, guys. For one thing, no one got injured. We're in the clear. The exceptional play of Jimmy Garoppolo this week was really probably one of the best games of his career. While he only had a little around 224 yards passing, give or take, he did have 4 touchdowns. And as Ortiz will tell you, no picks. He's continuing to not throw the ball in harm's way. The running game was absolutely outstanding with Elijah Mitchell averaging right around 6.6 a carry, McCaffrey averaging over 5 yards a carry. We even got to see our rookie running back there late in the fourth quarter, Mason, and he looked pretty good. So, guys, let's talk about it. Great victory. Last week, we made predictions. I was damn close. I said a little over 30 to about 7. So I said something over 30, over 7. I came damn close. But again, guys, I'm going to give it to it where it's due. Jimmy's been playing excellent. It's the third game in a row where the defense has shut someone out in the second half.
That stat alone is remarkable, man. I mean, I can't even remember a team that was able to make the kind of adjustments that this team's making at halftime to where 3 games in a row. I mean, imagine if we, can keep that up. I mean, that's a Super Bowl team. If we could continue to not allow points in the second half of games, which is almost unheard of, and now we've done it 3 times in a row, fellas.
Fantastic. And believe it or not, there were 2 games before that where we were kind of down, but I think we did it for 2 games before that also. So I could be wrong, but I think it's like 5 out of 7 games now. That's outstanding. I mean, that's the job that D'Amico Ryans is doing with this team right now is like unprecedented. He's just doing a fantastic job. If not for the fact that we did lose Armstead early in the year and Kinlaw, teams took advantage of that a little bit, but I think we're starting to counter move a little bit more. My hat's off to him, really. What do you think, Ortiz?
This is the game I think we've all been waiting for all season. Like we've been wanting Kyle to, kind of spread the love, so to speak. Give every weapon that we have on this team a little bit of action. Like if you're somebody that's been looking for Debo to have a big game, this was it, right? He had his touches. He had some nice receptions. He had that big, I think it was kind of a
37 yard,
reverse. Yeah,
37
the
yard
37-yard run on the
on the jet
reverse.
sweep
Yeah,
going the other way. Yeah,
yeah,
lovely.
huge play. So this is other than the Ram game, this is probably the other really nice game that we saw from Debo. George Kittle was kind of not seeing a lot of targets, and he voiced his opinion during the week, saying he kind of wants to be a little more involved in the offense. And he had a couple touchdowns, some nice throws, some nice run after the catches. Brandon Ayuk, although he didn't have a lot of volume, catches, 2 touchdowns, not bad. So yeah, it's nice. I mean, even Elijah Mitchell, I thought he came on strong in the second half, and like you stated earlier, he averaged
Killed
around
it.
almost 6 yards a game. So the
Killed it.
offensive line played well, no sacks. I think we averaged just under 6 yards per carry, and that's including a couple of kneel downs at the end, which count toward your rushing yardage average. So, just a nice game overall. This is what we want. We want to be a team that week in week out averages 30 points or more per game, and the defense did their thing. They've been doing it all year, minus a game here or two. The Kansas City game was a little rough, but since then they've had a nice little stretch of not giving up any points in the second half, and a lot of that credit goes to D'Amico Ryan. So
Yeah, I
These
mean,
rookies, these rookies on the O line, 2
man,
rookies,
the
they
killer
have looked.
bees, the killer
They're not.
bees, the killer
They're not.
bees.
I don't know if you guys have
Yeah.
noticed. I don't think either of them has given up a sack now, like 3 games straight, something like that. They're really coming into their own.
and talk about a tough game to play defense in. With you see, guys were out there. I mean, both teams obviously, but so exhausted, man. And Ward went down a couple of times, just looked like he was hyperventilating, scared the hell out of us. But really, he's been working hard, and what a game he had. We should definitely do the around the horn and pick a defensive player. If I were to go first, I'd pick Travarius Ward because he's amazing out there, and we need him to stay healthy. And that's the name of the game. And offensively, I think now the dust is kind of settling, right? Now you're seeing guys like Kyle's finally able to get Kittle involved and Ayuk and McCaffrey and Debo, and they have so many stars that those guys are like, wait a second, who's going to go next? They're starting to get in a rhythm to where they can work together. And, McCaffrey hasn't been here that long, but God, he puts in that effort on every single play.
He opens everything up for
huge
everyone.
on third yard. Yeah,
really.
Huge on third down, guys, right? Like there was just like perfectly run routes. I think even on instances where he's not the target, it's just that nice safety net that Jimmy has that he didn't really have before. I don't think, he was really getting it to the running backs when the first and second and third option wasn't there, and now he is. It's just really opening up the offense. If it's not there on first or second down, just dump it off to Christian and see if he can get 6 or 7 yards and something positive. So it's really opened up the offense, not just the plays that he's involved in, but the plays where the defense has eyes on him, and it opens up Ayuk, it opens up Kittle, it opens up Debo. Like the defense really has to account for Christian, and it's just allowing other guys to get open.
And you can tell that Kyle and Jimmy G are also, they're both getting very comfortable because Jimmy G always has an option now. I mean, he has to choose the right one, but he's been phenomenal, and his jersey was extremely clean at the end of the game because of the offensive line that you touched on already.
Yeah, absolutely. He really has. I mean, if you had to pick a quarterback over the last 3 weeks to lead your team, like Jimmy right now has the best numbers of any QB in the league. Like he's number one in DVOA. He's number one in efficiency. Accuracy is there. Like he doesn't miss many passes. When you give him a little time and allow him to see the field, he's hitting the open guy. Like I don't even remember really there being a bad pass the whole game, honestly. There was a couple incompletions.
Kittle when they were just in sync, when he looked like Garoppolo was going to run. I think you guys already talked about it, but when he started to run, he saw Kittle just start to go vertical and just let it go. And it wasn't the greatest pass in the world, but it was a perfect play.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah, it was just enough to get over the linebacker, and then Kittle did the rest of the work. And I don't know if you guys saw before the game, but that little first down thing he does, the zero fear. That's because one of his favorite wrestlers is Lucha Libre in Mexico, does that little thing, and he actually got to meet him before the game, and he gave him a little
nice.
little dab and some love, and he gave him a Lucha Libre mask.
I saw footage of him putting a mask on.
Yeah, they showed that.
Awesome.
Yeah, they showed that during the game, so that was pretty cool.
I wondered what that was. That's great.
Now, before this happened last night, before we actually knew officially, did you guys ever have any other theories as to what this meant? Because I've heard a couple of things. Someone told me it was like a tea kettle.
I thought it was a basketball reference, like a jump shot.
Man, no, I thought he was dropping something like boom. I don't even want to get into that, but I thought he was dropping a tea bag. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Real quick, you guys, have you ever seen that footage of Michael Jordan playing golf? And I think he's getting out of the sand pit, and he hits this ball, and it just goes up really high and then into the hole. Dunk. And when it hits the hole, he goes, "That was a jump shot."
Got you.
So remind me of Kittle's little first down thing.
It couldn't be anything worse than Charles Barkley's golf swing. It looks like a broken. It looks like a broken robot.
I knew it was an homage to that Mexican wrestler. So like I think, man, it was like 2 or 3 years ago when he started doing it, and I was like, what the fuck is that? Like that's kind of a weird first down celebration. And then I looked it up, and then I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like he's a big wrestling fan. And just for whatever reason, just kind of was drawn to this Mexican wrestler that wears the Lucha Libre mask and does the little.
So it has
zero.
So to get it straight,
awesome,
has nothing to do with dropping the tea bag. That's what I always thought it was.
But what awesome fans that we have in Mexico. I mean, they were going nuts.
Yeah.
Including that guy at the beginning of the game, the Monday Night Football. That guy. He was more excited than any of our Monday Night Football guys are ever.
Yeah, he was like the Mexican Jimmy Buffer, right?
Yeah.
Just
Howard Cosell never.
Bruce Buffer. Bruce Buffer. He was the Mexican Bruce Buffer, just pumped up on caffeine, I guess. But I loved it. Like I heard there was something around 80% 49er fans in the crowd, and it sounded like it. Like it's everything they did. 49ers positive. you hear a roar, you hear a cheer. Every time the Cardinals did something, like I think like their kicker on the first drive where they scored the field goal got booed off. So, just kind of cool stuff like that, right? You would think it
It's a
would be a
great
little
guy to
more
boo,
balanced
you know?
50-50 on a neutral
Cardinals
field,
kicker.
but no.
Yep.
Who wants
Yeah,
that
we have a
job?
big presence down there. Exactly.
I love how
Exactly.
Kyle Shanahan kept saying, like, I heard him say it a couple times, that he was concerned that they were going to cheer too loud on third down and longs, But really,
Yeah.
they knew what was up, man. It seems like they must watch the games, So
Yeah.
that was awesome, man. It was
No.
great to see that so many Niner fans, where it was, correct me if I'm wrong, Arizona was supposedly the home team.
Yeah, they were. And Kyle said he loved it. He felt like the energy of the crowd was almost even better than some of the home games. Like, he stated, like, man, if we could play another game here, that'd be amazing. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
He wishes he could
especially
stay
that
there
one
the whole
against the
season.
Chiefs. Jesus.
Right.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
I love this whole traveling thing that they do to expand the fan base,
Yeah.
Didn't we do London a few years ago as well? Didn't we?
So I was at the last London
that's
game.
right.
It was in 2010.
You were
We were
traveling.
terrible. We were terrible. I think we started the season 0-6, and Troy Smith was the starting quarterback that game against the Denver Broncos. We got our first win against the Denver Broncos in London.
That's not the one that you met Doug Hendrickson at, though, right?
No. I met Matt Mayoko. I met Mike Kohler from KMBR, and Mindy Bach, who was also another. It wasn't NBC Sports back then. I think it was something else, but they were all working basically for the Giants flagship station and the 49ers. Like, they were all there to cover the 49ers, but at the same time, the San Francisco Giants were in the World Series. So we met at a sports bar watching the Giants in the World Series at like 2:00 in the morning. Like, it was ridiculous. We would stay from 2:00 in the morning till 5 in the morning to watch the Giants play the Rangers and win their first World Series in San Francisco. So that was pretty cool.
Sweet.
Just a strange tidbit. I just found out today the Niners were actually training for this game up in Colorado.
Yeah.
Kind of like to get used to the air.
Which backfired, by the way.
That's
they didn't
what
realize
I was
how cold
say.
it was going to be. Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. Altitude's going to get you regardless. So those guys were running hard. And
I never saw the Arizona players huffing and puffing for air hardly.
Oh, they were.
At all.
They were. Maybe
I was worried about that.
Did you not see at the end of the game when Kittle scored that second touchdown? Like, nobody tried to tackle him. It was like they just gave up. There was one player that got called out by one of I think it was like Troy Aikman. He's like, that's just embarrassing. Like, he doesn't even attempt to make a tackle. He literally lets Kittle just walk into the end zone.
Probably couldn't breathe.
You could tell that a lot of guys were going down because of cramps, which always is like, it scares you because you're like, oh no, is he hurt? And then someone comes over and starts trying to help him, straighten out his leg, or they run into the locker room to get an IV.
That's what I was saying. It almost felt like we were getting beat up by the conditions. It was Boza who came off the field a few times also.
They trained in cold. They trained in high altitude, but it was very cold. And then they get to Mexico and it's humid, it's hot, it's in the 70s. So
probably more intense.
Maybe like I said, it backfired, but we were just such a better team that it didn't really matter.
Did you guys catch that 15-yard face mask penalty that the guy didn't even touch his face mask on McCaffrey? And
hey, thank you very much.
I think that was a makeup call from last week when there was 3 face masks that they didn't call. No, I'm kidding, but
yeah,
that was
whatever.
Weird.
We'll take it.
Right, we'll take
didn't change the outcome of the game. We still would have won. We still would have won by 30. So just sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. We won.
Which I think Arango was the closest then, right, to the score prediction.
Yeah. What was your prediction, Rango?
It was exactly over 30 and to 7.
No,
so
what
about
was your
30,
exact
33.
Prediction?
That's what it was. It was a little hair over 30, like 30, 33 to 7. That was my prediction.
Yeah, remember
30 to 33?
I'm kidding.
30 to 33. I said 30, 31, 33 to 7. So I was up by 3 points. That's the way I see it. I did pretty good on this one.
I thought it was going to be a close matchup if Colt McCoy started and we were just going to blow him out with Kyler Murray. I guess I was wrong. Doesn't matter.
Well,
doesn't matter who the quarterback is.
Yeah, the adjustments that we made brought us along, and I think we're going to go around the horn earlier, pick the best defensive player,
Yeah,
the defensive player of the game. We never got around to it. Luke, starting with you, who's your pick?
I'd take Ward on the corner there. He's having an amazing, not Travarius Ward, right? Not Jimmy
Mooney, Charvarius. Yeah.
So I take, dude, watching him play, and he was like stopping the run, and making plays, and it doesn't get enough credit. So I'm gonna take Ward, and without him, we would be in deep shit because as good as we played, he's a huge part of that secondary.
All right, Ortiz, how are you feeling this week?
I mean, did anybody play any better than Dre Greenlaw? And he was all over the place. That guy is like a missile. Like he reads screens. He makes tackles in the backfield. He covers linebackers and running backs and wide receivers. Like the guy's just all over the place. So
and he just shakes off those injuries, right? Like he looked like he was limping at one point, and then he was running full speed on the next play.
He was everywhere. Like it's weird. So like 1 week we look at Fred Warner and like this guy's the best linebacker in football. After this game, I don't know, man. Like if you just never watched football in your life and you looked at this game and this game only, wouldn't you think Dre Greenlaw was a surefire Hall of Famer? Like just looking at this last game.
I think if Dre Greenlaw wasn't sharing snaps with Al Shahir a lot of times they interlace, they go in and out for each other. Yeah. I think both of those guys are better players than what most people realize. It's just that they're sharing time.
Yeah, but that's what Dion thought when he was going to play, offense and defense. Then he realized that, it keeps him fresh to stay off the field sometimes. So I don't know. It might keep Greenlaw playing even better because they're competing against each other to get more tackles. And God, he was phenomenal in that game.
We didn't really see a lot of Al Shahir. So, I think it's just the fact that the Cardinals play a lot of 3 and 4 wide receivers dictated that we needed to have a nickel out there most of the game in Jimmy Ward. So we didn't see a lot of Al Shahir until the end of the game when it was out of hand and they took out, Fred Warner came out and Al Shahir came in and took over as the middle linebacker. But
so here's my question:
for the most part, Greenlaw was all over the field. He just made play after play. Yeah, really did.
Would it be a cop out if I picked our defensive coordinator for? I remember he is a former player too.
No, you got to pick a player.
Okay, we need a player.
Okay, but he is a former player. Just saying, he is a former player. Yeah. Okay, so you know what? I'm going to give some love to a guy who might not be here next year, who's a great player, who has kind of secretly hinted out that he might be on his way out, and that's Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward does not want to play slot corner. We both know this. But we got a guy back there, who just joined Hufanga, Gibson, who's playing really, really well. And the truth is, we need Jimmy Ward to play slot corner at this moment, Yeah. So I'm going to give it to Jimmy Ward because he's playing a position that he doesn't want to play. And the thing is, he's actually playing good also. So you're playing a position where that's not your best position, but you're playing it well. And that's being a good teammate, and that's showing, love for your team. So I'm going to give Jimmy Ward some love.
Jimmy Ward got an interception, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Does he still have a cast on that hand?
I can't say I noticed it.
Okay, I didn't
sure
he
has
either.
something.
He does. Luckily, it was one of those interceptions where it's just kind of like tipped up into the air, and pretty much
he's playing.
Pretty
well
much anybody
slot.
could have made with your.
He just doesn't want to do it.
Your arms, yeah.
He feels like he's a better safety. And he's made it known.
Good pick.
He didn't have the best game, but like he made that play. He was pretty solid all the plays. I think he struggled a little bit in the first half, but second half was definitely much better. And, other than a couple of DeAndre Hopkins catches here and there, I thought he pretty solid.
It's impossible to stop D.
Good pick.
Man. That guy's a savage. I mean, it's one of my favorite receivers.
Pretty awesome to see that. Was it Womack? Is that his name?
Oh, he did great too. Yeah,
awesome,
on special teams.
On special
Again,
teams.
on special teams.
He's
done it twice this year already.
Corner, I think, and then he got a pick too.
Yep.
Yeah. He dropped a pick six right before that.
I
don't know if you guys saw that, but I was like, oh God,
he's all over that football.
That was his moment, but luckily he made up for it and got the nice pick in the end zone.
He hadn't played all season, they said.
He has. He plays a lot of special teams. He actually played a little bit in the beginning of the season when Jimmy Ward was still hurt. Yeah. So.
And he made another great special teams play earlier in the year.
Because we were ahead.
Right.
They put him in.
Right.
So.
I think you're going to see more of him too. If because every time we put him out there, he does something. So I think eventually you may see a little more of him.
Yeah. Hey guys, so before we get to the next game
Yeah.
against the Saints, I just want to talk a little bit about the offensive line and how you guys uh, think they played. I mean, I know for me, I thought they played, incredibly good. I thought Mike McGlinchey more than made up for the last couple of weeks, and we kind of criticized him a little bit and said like, he needs to be replaced, or maybe he needs to be coached up a little bit better. But I thought he played amazing considering he was going against one of the best defensive ends of all time
Yeah.
in JJ Watt. We didn't really hear a lot of JJ Watt other than a batted pass. I mean, he held his own against him. No penalties, I think, except for maybe Brendel had an illegal snap, but no sacks, one penalty. I'll take it, and 6 yards on the 6 yards per run in the running game is exemplary. So I thought they really outdid themselves in how they handled the Cardinals this week. What do you guys see?
Agreed, man. They had that push up front, and Jimmy G had so much time to do his thing. So I agree, man. McGlinchey's really kind of like taken responsibility for some of those shitty games he had, and he's really stepped up, and that's what we need. And so, yeah, I agree with you, man. What a performance by the
Yeah.
offensive line.
Did you guys see that one replay of Jake Brendel getting out on the Debo big 37-yard run? How cool is that, man? I mean, this guy is like 300 pounds and he's 30 yards downfield sprinting and making
Those are
that
people
last
that want to
block
win, man. That's teamwork.
to spree Debo.
That's how
That's
you know
what it
someone
takes.
wants to win. That's great. That's great. When you have a
Absolutely.
team like that, you have players like that care, that put in that
Yeah.
extra effort. You do special things.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever saw The Fly, but I just wish he would change his name because Brendel.
See,
I did see The Fly.
I digress.
I didn't remember that there was a Brendel in the movie.
All right, guys, let's do the predictions here. Starting with you, Arango. Give us a real score with real numbers in it, and what's going to happen against the Saints.
Playing the Saints. I don't think the Saints are really as bad as their record. I think the Saints have one huge problem, though. They don't really have a quarterback at all. I think that's their biggest problem, and that's not going to fare well with them whatsoever.
Who is their quarterback?
Drew Brees. No,
it was Hill the Sunday mostly. I think the Sunday was mostly Hill.
Oh God.
I mean, I don't think I'd rather. I think he's better than Winston. Although Winston's probably more of a pure passer, but Hill's a weapon. So
didn't they just win? Did they beat the Rams?
The thing is that they've been dysfunctional since they lost their coach. Even if they're not bad, they don't have a quarterback. You're not going to go anywhere. I mean, you got Winston and a guy who's basically a tight end player, gimmick player playing quarterback. So they're not going to win like that. They'll beat the bad teams, but they're not going to beat the good teams like that. San Francisco, this is the game, baby. This is the game. Their defense, I don't think is really that bad, though. San Francisco 35, 38, maybe 40, 35 to 40. All right, I got to give you a fair number. 40. Fuck it. Let's go for it. San Francisco 40, Saints 14 out of gimmick plays. I think they get 2 gimmick plays from Hill, and that's how they score. I'll give them 14 points at max. I'll give San Francisco 38 to 40. So I say 38 to 40 to 10 to 14-ish. That's my prediction.
Nice. All right, Ortiz, what do you think?
So Saints have some weapons. I really like their rookie wide receiver Olave, and you always got to be worried about Alvin Kamara. Like he's a threat to score from wherever he gets the ball, whether it be out of the backfield receiving or running the ball. I think the 49ers, though, where they're going to really just dismantle the Saints is on the offensive and defensive line. I just think we're a much better team. They still have some good rushing defensive players like Cameron Jordan, but the way McGlinchey and Trey Williams have been playing the last 2 or 3 weeks, I really think we're just going to be able to limit his production, and we're just going to dominate on the line again. It's going to be a game where I think we can do pretty much anything we want against them. It's going to
So you're
be,
thinking in my terms now.
yeah, I think we're going to score, high 30s, maybe like 37, and maybe 3 field goals, 37-9, something like that. Yeah, I just don't see him scoring a touchdown on us this game.
And a
Don't,
milestone for Jimmy G because it'll be his third game in a row without a pick. He's never done that before. I think
Knock on
I think
wood.
this is the game to do it, man. This is the game to
yeah.
do it, guys.
See,
Actually, I think
that's
this will be the
Arango
first
trying
game.
to just secretly jinx Jimmy G. You can't do that. He's having a great year.
Hey,
Man.
I'm just about ready to pull up my Jimmy G
I know where you're
bobblehead,
going. I know where
and
you're
I'm
going.
I'm gonna put him right there. I'm gonna put him right
Yeah.
here, right in front
You
of the
think you're
screen
slick,
next week.
but we get it.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
pull out
I
that
think
Jimmy G bobblehead.
I just
this
knocked
week
on
if
wood,
he wins.
so
I think he will.
here's my bold prediction. We're gonna have two 100-yard rushers this game, Christian McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell.
Sweet.
So, be the first time we've done that in a long time. I don't know if it's ever happened before, but I'm looking for those two guys to have huge.
I would
games.
imagine it happened when we had Barlow and Hurst. If I ever had to take a guess, that'd be a great time for it
It's
to happen.
possible.
Kevon
Yeah.
Barlow, nice.
Kevin Barlow. He was good for 2 years.
AKA the future.
Oh, it's Kevon? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Kevon. Yeah, Kevon
I actually
Barlow.
really liked watching him play, man. He was good.
He was good for 2 years. He was very good for 2 years.
Yeah. It's just the team around him and the coach. I don't know. But anyway.
Actually, I if I had to guess, I think the last time we had a 200-yard rushers was a team with Colin Kaepernick on it.
That would make
Right?
sense. That would make sense. Gore and
Hey,
Kaepernick.
who's that player that played with Barlow that ended up like in jail and he's dead now? What's that guy's name? He went
Oh,
up,
that
he
was
played,
Lawrence Phillips.
Yeah.
Lawrence Phillips.
He
Yeah,
played
yeah.
ball against
Oh,
some kids that beat him like
don't
on the
get me-
playground.
don't-
So he got in a car and just ran him over or something and went to jail.
Is that what he
and then-
did?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, he's not going to get any
Something
sympathy
like
out of
that.
me,
Don't
man. It's
quote me on
because
that,
of him.
but,
It's because of him. Steve Young got popped, and his career ended in a concussion. He missed the block.
we all have to go sometime. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Steve Young was 3-1 that season. I just want to
I know.
mention that before he got hurt. I think he was like 3-1. He
would
wasn't doing
get
bad.
concussions like maybe 2 or 3 in the game. They didn't have the protocol, so you just like get back in there and play some more. But
Great
yeah,
player. Loved him.
So I'm thinking that we got to keep rolling and we got to shut him out in the second half again. Make those adjustments. I'm thinking that McCaffrey has a even bigger game than he's had so far, and gets maybe 2 touchdowns and like 140 yards rushing. And Mitchell only has like maybe 40 yards, and he gets another touchdown. So that makes us 21 plus Ayuk's going to get a touchdown. So I'm gonna say that this is going to be a high scoring game on part of the 49ers. And I am a little worried that you just told me that the Saints beat the Rams. And we beat the Rams so many times that I can't even have enough fingers to count. But I think in general that does scare me a little because it might be a little bit closer than we'd like if they use that mobile quarterback that sucks at throwing the ball. But I think Bosa will get a couple of sacks, and the final score is going to be 38-17.
It's right around my
Niners.
score, give or take. So
Right.
you
So
give him
I
a little too much credit.
have 37-9. You have 38-17, and Rango said 40.
I'm going to hit 38-40. I always give a little range.
38-4.
38-40, and the max we give up is 14 points, but I think it's more like 10, really.
Okay.
The Saints
I
are going to
just-
score 38, and
don't
we're
have
going
a
to score
quarterback.
40? What was that?
Yeah.
You got to give us a
They
direct
don't have
number.
a quarterback. How are they going to score? That's my.
I'm kidding.
Hill's going to have to just run the ball. That's the only way I see them really scoring.
But
is
pick
by
a number.
Hill
So
running that
41.
football.
We'll get 41, right? Is that the number?
Well, I got to do the math to really wait. 8 times 5 is 40. So 37, 39, 40. All right, 40. I'll give you 40-10. How's that?
I'm just hassling you, but
40-10. There we go. 40-10.
Hey guys, before we get out of here, I think we should give some bonus predictions for the Thanksgiving game. Get the Giants,
Ooh.
who many Niner fans have many bad memories playing against, and the
Giants.
Cowboys, who equally have many bad memories playing against. So who are we rooting for? Who are you rooting against? Who wins that
I'll be
Thanksgiving
watching the
matchup?
World Cup.
Giants. Giants for the Cowboys.
I'll be watching the underwater basket weaving competition coming from Germany.
Oh yeah. Professional pickleball.
Something
I don't
like
know,
that.
man. That's a tough game. I guess I'll take the Cowboys.
I'll take the team
Ooh,
with the losing record, the worst record out of the two. That way, it's better for us. I don't know.
I think
That's the
it's
way
the
I was thinking of it.
Giants. Yeah. I
But
think
none of
it's
them,
the
they're in the same
Giants.
division.
Yeah, I'll never root for the Cowboys. Like as much as the Giants give me some painful memories, 2011 most recently. Yeah, I just can't. I can't root for the
Same here.
Cowboys
So
ever.
I can never root for the cow turds. So yeah, I'm going Giants. Are we all in a row with this? We're all going for Giants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
Going
going
Giants.
I'll
Giants.
take the
We're
Cowboys.
going
Actually,
Giants.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
And then I always root for the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving
Not,
Day.
Me too.
oh well, it's almost a given they're going to lose. That's the that's the rough part.
Yeah, that's the running joke.
You got to
You
root
know
for the underdog.
who are
Yeah,
the
the
Lions playing?
punchline. Yeah, the Lions are always the punchline.
Who are the Lions playing? Do we get 2 games this
I
year or 3?
I have no idea, but I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, I root for them every year too. I feel sorry for them.
So I think you
Yeah.
guys were about to embark on like 3 games in a row at home, right? So hopefully you can keep the momentum going. And I think one of those games is we're going to have to play against Jeff Wilson Jr. coming up. And in the next 3 weeks, most likely, I will also be announcing when we're going to have our special guest, longtime Bay Area broadcaster Damon Bruce on the show.
Lovely.
Bruce.
So that'll be coming up.
And let's
I
not
don't think
forget the
Arango-
helmets. We still got the helmets we got to give away.
That's true.
We're saving that for
Yeah,
later in the year, I
what's-
believe. We're
what's
gonna
the
give away
deal-
the helmets.
What's the deal with that? How do you win a helmet?
We're going to have some trivia questions.
I don't like the way that sounds, man.
I know.
That goes back to the
Lucas is
Golden
not going to
Tip
show up
Award.
that day, and he's just going to call in and be like, "I'm going to win the
Oh my
helmet."
No.
Do you
just
really
so
want to win a
our-
helmet?
just-
What type of helmet are we looking at here?
I've got the
You know?
signed
A
Steve
gold-
Young
a golden tip
football.
helmet.
NFL
Listeners
signed
know
Steve
how-
Young football that I'm going to be auctioning off to the
Pick a
the
random
winner.
listener, just somebody that subscribes. Is that how?
Well,
No,
no, we're going to have
I
some
think it
trivia
should be the-
questions.
Yeah, we'll have some
Okay.
trivia questions. Either that or just or the best
we'll do
question.
some candlestick history.
Is this a helmet signed by you?
He's got one by Dwight Clark, and then what was the
Oh,
other one,
man.
Marengo?
I got a Dwight Clark and a Steve Young behind me,
Sweet.
and I have doubles of both, so it doesn't affect me.
I've got 3 different things signed by Joe Montana, but you guys can't have those. No one can have those with me.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys too. I have like multiple autographs of players or musicians.
The
One's
best
not enough.
one, you
sometimes.
guys, real quick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But 1980, I've got a picture of Joe Montana like this with a ball, and it's like his rookie season, 79.
Mhm.
And this woman behind me, this old lady, she's like, "Do you like Joe Montana?" I'm like, "I don't even know who he is yet," because Steve DeBerg was playing, right? I was a little kid, and she's like, "He comes into our deli. I'm going to get you his signature." And I have him like this. I'll show it on the show one day. And he doesn't have a helmet on, and he's got the ball, and it says, "Best wishes, Luke," whatever. I guess Joe Montana.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, that's
You
the
can
best
see
one.
his
Great story.
you can see his feathery parted hair.
Oh yeah, he looks like
Oh,
a
yeah.
'70s hippie, totally.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Did he have the classic mustache at the time? I know later on the late
I'll
mid
show it to you
'80s.
guys. It's freaking
Yeah,
funny.
the crazy mustache going
I
on.
couldn't ever get it out of the house. Like I tried to bring it to places I lived at. My dad was like, "Where are you going with that?" I'm like, "I'm just gonna bring it to the place I live." He's like, "No, you're not. Put it back up." He wouldn't let me. It's
Oh,
like,
your dad's a
you're gonna
hardcore
destroy
Niners
it,
fan
and it's
too,
gonna
huh?
stay here and be a collector's item. So,
Nice. I didn't know you come from a family of Niner fans. Then
oh yeah,
lovely, good stories to share.
I never missed a playoff game at Candlestick until the very last year.
My dad used to gamble money on the Niners. That's how I became a Niner fan. In all honesty, he would watch Niner.
We
games
always
on
wondered
Sunday.
how you became a Niner fan. Actually,
Yeah, I'm from New Jersey, New York. For those of you that don't know, but for the record, I'm not a fan of living in New Jersey, New York, and every time I go to California, I always felt at home. So I love California. Although I live in Florida now.
Well, let's sign off, you guys, and go Niners, and happy Thanksgiving. You guys have a great Thanksgiving.
Happy
And,
Thanksgiving,
enjoy your
boys.
to everyone.
Niners.
Go
Yeah.
Get
Niners!
another victory,
Woo!
and keep rolling with this. First place in the NFC West, baby.
Let's
Ooh,
kick the
Cal-
ain'ts and the taints. See you,
And soon
boys.
we'll have Seattle on the road, somewhere down the road, and I plan on beating them up just like we did last time. Good night, everyone.
All right, man. Go Niners.
Later. Bye.
Good show.